Young lady, I told you, off. Goodness. Okay, hi. Aside from informing the kitty that she's not welcome to be up here when I'm actually using it, and it's already clean, I had to be at the mall for various reasons today and wandered through Williams-Sonoma and came home with a Nordic Ware bundt cake pan that I'm taking for a walk. I already got started on this and was like, I should probably film this. So things I have going on here is I have the KitchenAid mixer like on deck and ready to go, and a cup and a half of sugar here. I have a cup and a half of sugar kind of defrosting underneath a warm like Pyrex container at Bianca's suggestion. And then over here I have 3 cups of flour, some milk coming up to room temperature. Generally everything is kind of needing to warm up. I saw a bundt cake pan, or actually it was just a picture of a bundt cake on Reddit, and I was just like, ooh, what is that delightful thing? I need to know how to bake with it. So I got one, because impulse control. Now I'm making a cake. So I'm going to film it. It's from a recipe from King Arthur flour. This is not an original. This is a classic vanilla bundt cake. But I'd really, like to do something cool with this over the holiday season, and so you have to practice. Yeah. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm a little bit into this further than I should be, but that's okay. We're going to do the thing.
Okay, let's get this party started. Now, admittedly, I started this video way later than I should have, and have already gotten a lot done. What I've done here is taken basically 3 sticks of roughly room temperature butter and beaten it together with some sugar until it's fluffy, then added the first 3 eggs. And where we come in here, I'm in the process of beginning the alternation of adding about 2 tablespoons of flour in between adding each subsequent egg. This begins the process of binding the batter together, and that sets it up to come together nicely as we proceed through adding the rest of the wet and dry ingredients. In watching myself bake, especially with the stand mixer, which I'm not used to doing, seeing myself do anything, I notice myself scraping the sides of the bowl a lot. And the reason that you do this is to make sure that there aren't little pieces of flour or wet ingredient that end up stuck to the sides of the bowl and then don't completely incorporate by the time you're done. If you take a moment and scrape the sides of the bowl, everything will, over the course of making the batter, kind of mix in. I will say I do this so frequently that I cut out of this video probably 4 minutes of nothing but various video clips of myself scraping the sides of the bowl for extended amounts of time. Be careful when adding the flour, or you can catch it back in the face, as illustrated by that. Let it incorporate all the way, and in goes the last egg. Hooray! Moving on, I think I added the baking powder and the salt at this point as well, and what's going in here is just an absurd amount of vanilla extract. Now from here, what we'll do is we'll add 1/3 of the flour, then half the milk, then 1/3 of the flour, the remaining half of milk, and then what's left of the flour. Alternating between the wet and dry ingredients is a really critical step in batter making to make sure that everything has a nice, fine, even crumb and has a chance to mix thoroughly. Too much of one, you end up with kind of a soup, and it's very difficult to blend flour into. Too much of the other, and you end up with a dough, and things can be tough. A cake that is tough does not just come apart with a fork beautifully like you imagine a cake doing. here I go scraping again. Just getting right in front of that camera as I do this. There's not really a good angle to film from in this corner of my kitchen. I think I need to find a better corner, but that KitchenAid mixer is very heavy, so I thought I'd give it a go this way. Get in the bowl flour. A really good safety measure, and something I notice myself not doing in the right order all the time, is to make sure that the stand mixer is locked down before you turn it on, and that it is turned all the way off before you unlock it. Aside from being a little bit dangerous for the old fingers, you can absolutely spray batter everywhere in your kitchen, and it makes a loud clanging noise that's rather alarming if you accidentally open it with the beater still spinning. We're almost there. We're just doing the last little incorporation to make sure everything is together before the all-important step of removing and then licking off the beater. I never claim not to have a serious inner and outer fat kit.
Hey, you want to lick the beater?
Would I lie to you? My friend and I were hanging out watching TV while I got this done, so there is in fact another person hanging out with me in the background. So next step, flour the cake pan. I've done enough baking that I have made some absolutely beautiful cakes and had the tragic result that they would refuse to release from their loaf pan, cake pan, spring form pan, what have you, over the course of many years of messing around with flour. I'm using canola oil here. It is the primary ingredient found in the majority of non-stick cooking sprays, but doesn't have any propellant, nor does it contain any palm oil. I went ahead and got the cake in the oven without the camera running, but I did get some nice action shots of myself removing said cake and checking it over. You want the skewer, or in this case, the chopstick, to come out clean when you remove the cake from the oven. My initial check revealed that it needed a little bit more time, so I popped it back in the oven for about 8 more minutes. And you can see here I'm testing and everything's coming out clean. From here, you let it cool a little bit, turn it over, let it cool some more, and then see if that mold don't come off nice and tidy. That could have been done more gracefully. Don't mess with it. Just leave it the way it is and hope. Okay, let's take that mold off. I was so excited to do this. It's such a beautiful pan. And the grand reveal. Voila! Bundt cake. Now, as I had a friend over, I couldn't resist just getting this glazed as quickly as I could. I let it cool some, but it got glazed well in advance and cut into while it was still warm which is a big no-no in cake as a general rule. But it was just for me, and the rest went to my coworkers, who are glad for any cake, let alone free and homemade. Ladies and gentlemen, cake is served. This came out wonderful. I'm so excited to see what else I can do with this bundt cake pan, what other recipes I can learn. But if the only recipe I ever learn is this vanilla cake, I can't imagine that it'll be a disappointment. So thank you for joining me. Eat a little bit of cake. Maybe go for a walk afterwards. I certainly needed to. And I will catch y'all on the flip side.